So this is a 2021 Ford Bronco Sport First Edition. Now, Ford only made about 2,000 of these vehicles, and we are lucky enough here at Hunt Ford to be able to have one on our lot for sale. Now, this one is actually sold, but today we're going to take a look at what makes this different from the rest of the trim lineup for the Ford Bronco Sport. So y'all are not going to want to miss it. We're going to cover the exterior and the interior and talk a little bit about why they made a first edition. So without further ado, let's check it out. So one thing that is going to be different on this first edition in comparison to the Badlands, which it is based on, is going to be this front grille. Now, most of the lineup is going to have this Bronco lettering in white, except for the base, which we'll get to in a second. But it is the only one to have this carbonized gray grille here. The rest of it is either going to be a gloss black with white lettering, or on the base, which does have that black lettering, is going to have a gloss black here as well. This first edition is also going to have those LED signature headlamps as well as LED fog lamps. Now, you do continue from the Badlands these tow hooks down here at the bottom that are going to allow you to get yourself out of some tight spots with a little bit of force from another vehicle or a winch if you were to happen to have one. When you are up front, you are going to notice that you do have active grille shutters, and what that's going to do is open and close to allow your vehicle to be more aerodynamic on the road as it needs. Coming up to the top of the hood, there is a distinct feature of just the first edition Bronco Sport, and that is going to be this black decal and vinyl sticker pack that is going to be along the front of the hood here, as well as down the side of the vehicle. This is going to be the only Bronco Sport that features this sticker pack, and we're not exactly sure how we think about it. We're kind of split down the middle on our staff. So what do you think? Are you a vinyl sticker or decal type person, or are you strictly a bone stock body panel type person? Let us know down in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. So as you come down to the side, you're going to notice these specifically first edition wheels. Again, there are only 2,000 vehicles across the entire United States that are going to have these wheels, and that is the first edition. Now, this one is an Area 51 in color. It's really nice. It has the navy pure interior that pairs really well with it, but we'll look at that here in a second. Around the 17-inch black wheels, you're going to have the off-road tire option that comes with the Bronco Sport. These are going to be a Falcon Wild Peak all-terrain, and they are 29-inch tires. For those of you who really care about the statistics on these tires, these are going to be 235 by 55s. So plenty of rubber, plenty of grip. It's got nice grooves down the side and going to give you lots of grip on these dirt and all-terrain type roads so that you are going to be able to get wherever you need to go. On both the Badlands and First Editions, you are going to have a little bit of a lift. It's about a 1-inch lift, which will give you a little more ground clearance, as well as you'll have access to the Haas improved suspension on these two trim levels. And that's going to make a big difference as you're hitting the trails, because you are going to have the best suspension available on this vehicle. Now, here down the side, you can see the first edition badge, as well as you'll see this down the side again. Up here at the top, you do have this gloss black painted roof, and this is going to be only on the higher trim levels of the Bronco Sport. So you were thinking your Badlands and your first edition. The rest of the vehicles, this will be body color painted. So we've already covered the difference between the engines on the Bronco Sport. This one, for example, has the 2.0 that's going to be inside the Badlands, whereas the rest of the trim levels below are going to have the 1.5 liter 3-cylinder. We personally don't think there's that large of a difference, but on these more off-road geared vehicles, you're going to really need that extra torque and that extra power as you go down the trail. There isn't a discernible difference really in the amount of towing. I think you get an extra 200 pounds, but you're gonna have a lot more torque and a lot more power to get going, as well as you're going to get 2 extra drive modes as a part of this drivetrain. And those are going to be the rock crawl and the mud ruts mode, so specifically geared towards off-roading, as well as it's going to activate this front camera up here to use while you're navigating down the trail. That's really going to help you avoid from having to have a spotter in the front of the vehicle, and then you are really going to be able to navigate on your own from the driver's seat. We've talked a little bit about this on the larger Bronco, but that's available on these smaller ones, on these Bronco Sports, once you get up into those higher trim levels like the Badlands and the First Edition. One thing that's going to be interesting to take a look at on these Broncos as you get them on both the Bronco full size and the Bronco Sport is that you have these accessory ready markers. And what that means is that here is already wiring for any kind of accessories that are going to need it. So for example, if you were to get a light bar to go across the top, once you have the mounting system for it for a light bar, you're going to be able to have this accessory ready area all ready for that specific setup. So those are going to be pre-wired and already hooked up on the fuse box so that you can just plug and play and get right to whatever you're needing to do for your setup. So that's enough about the outside. Let's take a look at the interior. So in this First Edition, we have the navy pier interior, and that is going to have this leather trim with the mini perforations down the seats. And that is going to give you a lot more ventilation towards your back and let you have a little more breathing down here as you're going down the trail, as well as you have your heated seats on both front seats. So these are going to be power adjustable, as you can see here, and they both have this cool pocket that I've never really noticed, but that will allow you to store things like a cell phone right here as you go. Of course, as you look up here in the front, you do have your 6.5-inch screen, and that has got Sync 3 standard. And so what that is going to give you is access to all of your phone apps like Google Maps, Waze, Spotify, Pandora, any of those apps that you would use on your phone. You'll be able to use that through hooking it up on Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Down here at the bottom, you do have this wireless charger. You've got a USB-A and a USB-C type charger. Coming down, you do have your rotary dial style shifter, and you have all of your GOAT modes. Now, you do have your trail control, your four-wheel drive lock, your rear locker, which is going to be extremely handy off-road, which will allow you to maintain traction no matter if you have some wheel slippage. And then you can turn your traction control in general off. You do have your auto park hold so that you can let your foot off the gas or the brake as you are waiting in traffic, and it will hold your vehicle there for you. Now, as a standard option on the First Edition, you do have the power moonroof so that when you are taking it down a trail and you decide to park for the night, you can look up and see whatever stars from whatever park you're at. Very similar to the Badlands, you are going to have the Bang & Olufsen sound system that is going to be a more premium sound system than would come standard on the rest of the Bronco Sport lineup. So here might be the kicker. This is going to be basically everything you can get on a standard Badlands, except for this one is going to cost a little bit more. This one, as stickered, is going to be just under $40,000, where a standard Badlands is going to cost you about $32,800. And that might look like a really big jump. However, these are only going to have a limited run of 2,000 units. For example, this Bronco Sport First Edition here will probably be the only new one we ever see here at Hunt Ford. So you tell us, which would you rather have, the First Edition or the Badlands? Obviously, if you were lucky enough to get a First Edition reserved, you would have it, and we just happen to be able to have this one available for sale on our lot. Functionally though, this is the exact same driving vehicle as a Badlands, and so all of the capability is going to be maintained and continued and provide that excellent level of off-road ability. So now that we've just about covered the entire Bronco Sport trim level lineup, which one is your favorite? We're pretty partial to this First Edition, but we've seen a lot of really good looking Badlands and Outer Banks that we like a lot. I think it kind of comes down to your color combo, but I'd like to hear what you have to say. So let us know down in the comments. We'd love to hear why you picked the one you did. This was meant to just be a quick run through of what the difference is between a First Edition and a Bronco Sport Badlands. If we missed anything, let us know down in the comments. We'd like to hear it. As always, we try to give you the most accurate information, and we don't want to think we missed anything here. As always, guys, if you like this video, hit that like button down here below. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel and hit that bell notification. We've got a lot of great content coming out about the Bronco, the F-150 Lightning, and plenty more, and you all are not going to want to miss it. Until then, we hope you enjoyed the video. We'll catch you later.